Why are we doing this? We're doing it to have a better relationship with nature and to really change the way we think.
We need sustainable ecosystems, ones that continue to function without constant inputs, or we as humans are going to disappear.
Part of our obligation as people who live here to take care of these plants.
I imagine they have to come to the conclusion that we can't lose any more of nature.
This is a story about a 2,700-acre property in central New Jersey, Duke Farms. How it came to be, what we're doing to regenerate it, and how you can help build a better future for yourself, your family, and the generations to come. The lifetimes of James Buchanan Duke and his daughter Doris spanned almost 150 years. A tumultuous period when America was transformed from a rural, agrarian nation to a global industrial powerhouse. Duke was born in 1856 on a humble farm in North Carolina. He was only 2 years old when his mother died, and just 7 when his father was drafted by the Confederate Army. After the devastation wrought by the Civil War, Duke, his father, and 2 brothers began the arduous task of rebuilding the family's abandoned farm. They gave up on growing traditional crops and instead sowed the seeds of a promising new variety of tobacco. When the railroad arrived, the family of tobacco farmers became industrialists, manufacturing and packaging tobacco products to be sold across the country and around the world. By the age of 30, Duke was head of the family enterprise. He established the American Tobacco Company in New Jersey, where the Industrial Revolution in America began. Propelled by manufacturing, small farm villages were becoming gritty industrial cities, seemingly overnight. In 1893, at a time when most wealthy industrialists were buying grand estates in the Hudson Valley or on Long Island, Duke purchased a 357-acre farm in New Jersey on a picturesque stretch of the Raritan River. Duke quickly acquired 40 adjacent farms, expanding the property to 2,200 acres. He added lavish lawns, 2 elegant conservatories, scenic carriage drives, a system of 9 lakes, waterfalls, and 35 fountains, making Duke Farms one of the most magnificent estates in the country. A booming industrial nation needed new sources of energy. Duke went on to build a second fortune in hydropower and to become a leading philanthropist. In 1912, at the age of 57, Duke became a father when Doris, his only child, was born. When he died on October 10, 1925, Doris Duke was only 12 years old. Though she grew up to be a world traveler and went on to acquire many other properties, Doris always considered Duke Farms home. There she spent many happy years, surrounded by plants and animals and the landscape that she loved. When Doris Duke was a young girl, New Jersey was already one of the most urban and industrialized states. After World War II, much of the Garden State's remaining farmland was gobbled up for new housing developments. With New Jersey's rich agricultural heritage rapidly disappearing, Doris acquired several adjacent farmsteads, expanding the estate to 2,700 acres. By the time Doris died in 1993 at the age of 80, New Jersey was the most densely populated state in the nation. It was also one of the wealthiest, but prosperity came at a high price. Much of the region's once vast expanse of forest has been reduced to patches and fragments, leaving wildlife marooned in a sea of suburbs. The loss of forests and farmland has endangered plants and animals, including birds like the upland sandpiper and the vesper sparrow. In her last will and testament, Doris directed that Duke farms be used to protect endangered plants and animals, and for the advancement of agriculture and horticulture. Doris's love of horticulture is still evident at the orchid range. The spectacular conservatory has been renovated to LEED Gold environmental standards, housing a subtropical coastal display and a tropical orchid display. Following her wishes in 2006, the Duke Farms Foundation adopted a new mission: to make the former family estate a model of environmental stewardship in the 21st century, and inspire visitors to do the same on their own land. Healthy landscapes provide natural benefits that support life on Earth. They clean the air and water, create the oxygen we breathe, provide us with food and medicine, wood, fertile soil. By absorbing storm water, they reduce flooding. They regulate the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and stabilize the climate. And they fuel the planet's dazzling diversity of species. But the landscapes that we have created work against nature, reducing the environment's ability to provide these essential services. Today, Duke Farms is one of the largest undeveloped parcels of privately owned land in the state of New Jersey. Efforts are underway to regenerate its living habitats. The greenhouses, once a display of orchids and gardens from around the globe, are now home to a native plant nursery, where thousands of plants are propagated from seed collected on the property to assist in habitat regeneration efforts. Forests degraded by invasive non-native plants and the deer population explosion are being brought back to health as staff and volunteers remove the harmful species and plant native woodland trees, shrubs, and wildflowers. A grove of small American chestnut trees has been planted. Scientists are monitoring the gray, blight-resistant saplings planted here in the hope that they can help give the iconic tree, devastated by disease, a second chance. Hundreds of acres of mown lawn are being transformed into meadows where native grasses rustle in the wind and colorful wildflowers support essential pollinators and grassland birds. More than 500 acres of floodplains along the Raritan River, which had been drained for agricultural use, will once again absorb and cleanse stormwater and provide habitat for wetland wildlife, from the regal great blue heron to the playful river otter. And after decades of decline, the bald eagle is making a comeback. Now a pair of adult eagles has made Duke Farms their home, and generations of healthy eaglets are being born. Neighbors now grow fresh, healthy food in the 5-acre community garden. A new 2.6-acre solar array requires no fuel, generates zero pollution, and provides 100% of the electricity needed for Duke Farms. This farm barn once provided stalls for horses and areas to store wagons and equipment has been repurposed using materials that are recycled and non-toxic and have been harvested responsibly and produced locally. The building captures natural light and breezes and is warmed by heat stored in the earth. The surrounding landscapes work with the building to cleanse used water and keep stormwater runoff from polluting the river. They are full of beautiful native plants, supporting wildlife and biodiversity in our region. We live in a world where cutting-edge technologies and natural systems can work together, where we can harness renewable energy sources to power our lives, where in our own backyards and businesses we can foster diverse native habitats.